the fact that he gave me a yes. A lot of my friends was like, how did you did it? How did you get that yes?
Hi, Noraisha. How are you? Welcome.
Hi, hi Fatima. Thank you for this amazing um, interview that I'm going to go through with you. I'm so excited about it.
I am excited too. I am excited too. So I'm so excited also that everybody has the opportunity to, listen to a Muslim woman from all over the world on the other side. So you're going to tell us more, but I want you to introduce yourself for everybody here. What do you want to share about yourself?
Okay, my name is Noraisha Anwar. I'm known as the Potion Master. Um, I've been doing essential oil for 8 years, but I'm not just doing essential oil. I'm doing on a natural plant extract, and I do research on herbs. So this actually embarked me on this journey on. It's not just a business that I'm doing, but it's also more on helping individual to understand their body indicators and what kind of herb is actually suitable for different individual bodies. So I went into that journey of R&D on personalized one-to-one case study with my clients. So it's a lot about one-to-one basis when I started my business. So I started this business on a servicing line where I took up the course of equipping myself in terms of an aromatherapy massage technique that I went for the course, and then after that I took up another course called TCM, means traditional Chinese medicine, and I learned about the meridian points, and I learned about touch for health, why the gentle way of doing a treatment massage is actually the in thing for the body, not not the hard way, not the kneading way, not the pulling, and then there's this karate kind of kind of massage
Yeah, yeah.
treatment. Yeah, but my way is that because I believe in gentle method. So when I wanted to embark in a journey or business of massage, I stumbled upon this massage technique, which is just doing with aromatherapy, but it's a lot about feathering, vital flex points, and then doing a vital flex technique, which is such a gentle one. And it's because we need to touch point on our vital flex on the body where it is such a gentle needed way for it to be touched on. So eventually that is the one that made me embark into this journey, because I felt that my human body and soul kind of like resonate with the whole thing, and that's how I started on the business. Yeah, eventually
Love
it
it.
became a business. It started not from a business perspective because I actually helped my mom-in-law. She actually had diagnosed with cancer stage 4, and that was the one that embarked me into another R&D where I had to learn what cancer is all about, how to overcome cancer if there is a way to, what are the challenges that I went through when I was doing it on a clinical basis, and having my tudung to represent aromatherapy. During the time, I was like one of the few.
Yeah.
So for a Muslim woman to have the aromatherapy knowledge, it was a few, and I also eventually embarked in the training of aromatherapy and massage technique. Yeah, so that was another part of my business that I decided to zoom into, because not many people are doing the empowerment side of this business. A
Yeah,
lot of them are more into
it's
essential oil
really
and selling
important.
essential oil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
selling without really knowing and doing the research.
yeah,
I
so
see.
that's how. Mm,
That's
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. You're a healer. So I love when, people just discover their gift and they just go all in and really become a master at it. So there is a mindset, that is going on here, going from an amateur to a pro. And I really value that, because it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of research, and not everybody, is patient enough or want to go deep, in that way. So a lot of people, they're like, yeah, we're just gonna sell essential oils, we know the basic knowledge, but you decided to go deeper and learn also other type of healing expertise, from like Chinese medicines and all of that. So Noraisha, you're in Southeast Asia, and now that you've launched this business, and you also started to growing up, what are the three main biggest challenges that you met being a Muslim businesswoman on your side?
I personally feel that I am blessed because when I embark in my journey, my mom-in-law, where she saw how she got herself getting better and better. So when I want to start on helping others, I actually asked her if I could help other people, and she actually blessed me into, she said, I'm stable, you can help others, because I told her I may need to help others similar as her, and to use her solution to help others is something that I would love to share, and she blessed me with that. When I get her blessing, eventually I asked my husband, on that note, that I would have to go to Malaysia during that time, because I felt that a lot of Malaysians are already in using the essential oil, but they may not be equipped with the knowledge that they need to be empowered. So I asked my spouse to actually ask him to, and I'm also blessed the fact that he gave me a yes. A lot of my friends was like, how did you did it? How did you get that yes? It's so hard to get men to release their wife from the home domestic affairs. They were, I say, how did I manage to get that release? And it's actually because before I embark on this journey, I've been bringing my kids along, and I've been prepping them. Actually, my two boys, I've been prepping them on self-independent mode, and I saw that my two boys have started themselves to grow up to be independent children, that I saw that in them. So I actually saw that, and I stopped prepping them at a young age during that time. And when I was starting my traveling, I'm just grateful that I have family support, where I have my mom-in-law, I have my sister-in-law, and they were so happy to babysit my two boys, who's so independent. And normally before a trip, I would prepare all the required stuff like their food and all, and they would have their shopping list to purchase, and they would have their rations. So when they go to their aunt's place, they would just tell their aunts and their grandma, you don't have to worry about our food, we've got it all here, we have extras to even share it with you.
I love it.
And my
Preparation. It's the
yeah,
key. Yes, I love it.
and my sister-in-law was chuckling herself out. I said, I have my set. Yeah, I don't need yours. And that's how it started, my journey, where I went to Malaysia and start empowering them in the use of essential oil. And it used to be a 2 days affair, 3 days affair. Eventually it's stretched to a week affair, and eventually it's stretched to a 10-day affair. And my husband said, do you not finish your work, that where you said 3 days is enough? I said, I did finish it, but eventually I had new clients that I'm introduced to, that I need to see them. So it's my friends that introduced me to new clients, so I got word of mouth marketed, and that's why I had to come back, and then I had to see the new clients and the new, and eventually my journey in Malaysia, which started from KL, where I was with Mushida during that time. She's the one who helped me to introduce to her friends on this, and eventually she saw how I actually fly and get more contacts on my own, and how I grew my business. Yeah, so uh and it's really important to have a friend that actually knows how good you are in your work,
Yes.
and and trust that you can actually deliver the work that you are able to do for others. And that's how I grow my business. And that challenge that I have is because I wanted to set up a team. The team is actually a challenge because
Yeah.
you're used to doing your OMO work, but eventually you need to expand. So when you need to expand, you have to do training, and I used to have everything in my mind, but eventually I have to write down what I have in my mind because the team say I can't read your brain. Can you write it down? You seem to have all the steps straightened out, like 10 steps. That 10 steps I couldn't follow. And when I do training, right, eventually I finish a training, which is like a training. Then I had someone who will write for me a summary for my
Yeah.
sharing, those who are very good listeners. And then after that, ask me to revet again. Okay, Kaisha, can you revet? Is this what you said? And did I miss anything when I'm writing it out? So with that, I use that to duplicate and create my notes, and eventually it becomes more structured eventually
Yes.
after that. And that's how it started from raw ground till now. It's more and more structured, and I'm actually doing an affiliation program in the next coming year or two. Yeah, that's
Oh,
where
amazing.
the ecosystem.
Congratulations. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, amazing. So I just love that what you said because I interviewed Saima Duhare. She has a business in the UK, Halal Fresh, and she also said yes, building a team was a challenge for her because when you going solo, well, you're just managing yourself, you're doing your thing, and then when it's time to expand, this is time to get people in. And it's like if you never did it before, it's really really hard to get the right people and then to get the right structure. But as you said, you do it through time. What I see around me often, and I also did it, was okay, trying to organize, get everything ready before you get your business growing, which is not really the main like main point of a business. You grow your business and then you adapt. You will grow and then you will get people and you will figure it out. You will never know everything. You will not never be ready for everything. So you have that. What is another challenge, for example, maybe like personally for you, that you had like growing your business?
Okay. The other challenge, the other challenge is actually a lot to do with the finance that you need to build up. Yeah, and I realized that many people out there would actually be considering about taking a grant, and how they need to have a loan to start off themselves in the business.
Mm,
How I started my business is by actually having a small capital outlay uh, that I calculated, and I said that I may need about 1,000 to start off my business. But during that time when I started off my business, I actually start off with 500 in the
mm,
business.
mm,
So it's actually I save up my last paycheck, and I use my last paycheck as an investment for me to start my business.
mm,
And when I started it, I was already having a manifestation and mindset that I want to help this number of people. And it's my giving nature that I know that will be the one that is my crowd puller, or they call that the loss of attraction.
yes.
And I started with the business by saying that I actually started for myself, using these three main oils that help me through with my self-care first, by using an oil that helps with my mental clarity. I use another oil that helps me with my photogenic memory, to recollect my, because I was going, before I had this essential oil business, I was starting to get forgetful and absent-minded, and that was just in your 30s. Okay, and you
Mm,
can't believe it. I mean, dementia and Alzheimer's will start about 60, but why is it starting at 30 plus when you're having it? So that's actually a concern for me. So I had to find out, and my energy that I used to have, that that stamina that I used to have, because I'm a long distance runner. I can run 10 click when I was in my
Mm,
younger days. But
yeah.
I realized at the age of 30 plus, all that is like plunging down. And that was the thing that and I'm raising two boys during that time, and my boys are only at 5 or 6 or 5 or 8,
Mm,
and
yeah.
I know that they have another 10 or 20 years, and if I don't have that energy and stamina to raise them up, plus having a new business incoming, that's gonna that's gonna be like, I'm gonna struggle with that. So that's why the need to do self-care, that is the one. And my first intention when I set for the business is actually to help my mom-in-law find the solution for her cancer stage
Mm,
4. That
mm,
was my intention for her, and I asked God, and I asked him and said, if this is the solution that will help my mom-in-law, that can have a life extension or getting better, and can you also provide for me the cash flow that I needed to support her, and also to support my family, and also to do this as a running business for myself and for the people that could benefit in the near future. That was actually my intention that I laid down to surrender to Allah, and I got it answered. And on the first month of my business, I actually got a paycheck where I asked during that time, I asked my husband to prepare some cash because it's his mom's medical need that he needs to set aside.
yes.
So he actually set aside the amount for his mom's medical needs. But eventually I returned back his cash, and he was shocked. And he said, why return this cash? I mean, well, first time my money is not, it's not there's no need for my money. First time I
Yeah,
return it
yeah.
back to him.
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah,
a
yeah.
man to have a wife returning back their money, they're like, wow, and I said to him that your mom is the blessed woman that Allah gives the abundance, and the finance has already been taken care of. So
Mm,
we could spend that money on other things that we may need while we are taking care of her. But under this segment of health, it's really being cared for, and that's how it goes, and that's how the business grow for me, with that intention.
mm,
And my mom-in-law actually had a 7.5 years of life extension,
mm,
a
mashallah.
blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and blessing.
I
Yeah.
love it. Yes, intention and manifestation, and going from a mindset of abundance. This is so important. And I feel like, in the Western culture, when you talk about the law of attraction, you hear it mainly in, the Western culture. So it's really like out there. They don't give you a structure, but we have such a strong faith in Islam that, you know like calling this law of attraction. Actually, I'm going to make a video out of it. And even, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says he is the abundance, and the shaitan is the scarcity. So if you turn to him and ask him, like, he's the creator of everything, like, for him it's nothing. But for you to have the right intention and to ask for this abundance coming your way, and if your intentions are clear and pure from the beginning and you want to help people, why not ask? Why not ask? So I remember, the stories of Musa alayhi salam. He was always asking, for everything, asking. So do not hesitate, always ask. And I did a talk with an imam also 3 days ago, and he was also saying, yes, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala likes it when you ask him, for things in your life, to get better, or for anything. So I love that you did that, and you saw it, manifest in front of you, like, and you grow it now. So if you have to leave people, for example, with two solutions, or two strategies to really make sure that, they get this mindset, and they don't go like, I have to take a loan, I don't know how to grow a business, like, it's really hard. And like, how can you help them get the right mindset and say, okay, this is what you do, and you will see your business grow.
My journey when I went to Malaysia, it's really more on helping. I actually uh manifested, and I actually asked Allah to lead me to the women that are single parents, and they are actually struggling in raising their kids
Mm.
growing up. And I actually really met those women out there, and I actually help many to start from zero to hero. And the way to do it is actually in terms of empowerment that I started with, because I always believe that when you have the ilmu, you actually can create your right intention, the right purpose of having your rezeki, and also you have to usaha. Yeah. So when I shared to a lot of single parent moms, sometimes they have forgotten that, yep, they may lose a husband, but they have forgotten that they are doing it for their child.
Mm.
Even though their child is just a year old, but the rezeki that the child is actually blessing the mom is something that we as a mom, we are the caretaker, we are the caregiver. We can actually be opening up the rezeki for them because we are their amanah here. So
Mm.
if we are their amanah, eventually the rezeki will open up for them. And I did it. Well, I was taking care of my nephew or nieces when my mom was asking that. My mom-in-law was saying that, could you buy a tin of milk for your nephew for this month, just to give them an extra edge. And then I would say, okay, mom, my for my next assignment that I gotten, if I got an assignment, I'm gonna in fact the money that I get to buy the milk for my nephew and it's done. I said to her in that assurance. And
Mm.
amazingly, I had someone who needs my service happen to just give me a call. Do you happen to be able to take up a tuition assignment to help my child? And this is the payment for that. And when I look at it, the value that I need to buy for the milk for my nephew and niece, it's more than what I needed.
Mm.
And it's already been covered in the first place to begin with. So that is actually teaching people to set the right intention when you want to start, because a lot of single parent mom sometimes, when they are all in a haze and muddled mind, they actually forgot that they can be actually asking Allah for the rezeki, and think about their son, that they are the one who is feeding them.
Mm.
They cannot be going in asking the father for money all the time, because he has his portion of responsibility. Yes, he has his portion, but if we take the 100% ownership on saying that I am the care bearer for my son or my kids,
Mm.
then Allah will allow our rezeki to be expanded, because we have kind of like a promise, and Allah knows that promise of a mom would never be abandoned. It's never a promise that is a 50% trustworthy kind of promise. It's a promise from a mom coming straight from her heart.
Mhm.
It would be granted. And that's what I shared with my single parent. And that's how my business grew with these amazing ladies, and they start building up their self-confidence and self-esteem. And that was what I was working on with a lot of them, by creating happiness, by creating happiness in them, and getting what we call by relationship bonding, and that actually grows your prosperity.
I love it. Yes, indeed. The empowerment, growing the confidence, and again, it's always, what is your intention, and making sure that you put on the work towards it, every day. As you said, it's not easy to build a business, but once you acquire, this from the start, and then you acquire confidence along the way, and then you acquire all these new skills, I think it's important to go back to the intention, because a lot of people like forget about it, like sometimes, like, why did I start this, like why did I go into that journey. So thank you for sharing all of this. How many years are you in business now?
This year, if I look at it now, I'm going to be on my 8th year.
Okay, so if we had a superpower, and you would go back 8 years, to you, a younger you, what is one advice you would give her in all of that?
I would share one, which is self-determination. Self-determination is it's not self-determination of self, it's self-determination in the faith of Allah. That is something that you need to build it up, because when you believe and when you have a strong trusting with Allah, then nobody can take that first relationship out of you. Not even another human being could take, because to me that is the first step for anyone to start something in back to that root.
I love it. Yes, completely. I call it the complete surrender, which is really hard because we are creatures of control. We like to control. But being Muslims, we know that we're limited in that. There are things that, that we can't control. And everything that happens is for our own good. So if we really, believe that and understand that, it's a huge step. So I love that's your advice. So coming to an end of this, conversation, Noraisha, and I loved it. This is just the first. You have to come back. Um, what is one question you wish me I ask you I haven't?
Okay, that's one question that maybe you didn't ask. What is that I may take for granted about myself that others would admire me by?
Okay, so what is the answer to that question? What do you take for granted?
When I was in my growing up days, I used to take good health for granted.
Mm,
Yeah. So when I saw my mom, who is such a pious person, and from that aspect that she fell sick, I realized that sickness sometimes is not a bad thing, because when I see how much she received blessing from others, who's always there to want to help her, ease her in her suffering, and take her suffering away and cheering her up, I saw that as a beautiful thing that I told myself never to take that part of me for granted.
mm,
Yeah, yeah, and I had to see for my own face from the experience of my late mom, for me to tell myself after that, no more taking myself or anyone close to me for granted, even though it's just a 5 minutes that they gave me. So sometimes in an appointment, it could be whoever that is could be late for an appointment. It's something which is uncontrollable. It's about time and traffic jam, especially in
mm,
Malaysia. So
yeah.
that isn't that you can't control that part. So sometimes for me, even if that person show up, but she only have 5 minutes of a time, that 5 minutes I have to fully utilize the 5 minutes to make the person feel that it's a comprehensive 5 minutes, and she knows she's gonna come back for a second time,
Mm.
and that's something that I'm sharing it with you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Noraisha, for all your wisdom. And I think, yeah, this is a beautiful reminder, especially like we are preparing for Ramadan, and we pray that Allah grant us, the ability to do Ramadan, right, and to become a better person. So, yes, don't take, life for granted, and also making sure that we give proper time and attention, to people, because I think it's really important to be present for them. So yeah, I love that you shared that. Thank you so much for this amazing, conversation. There are a tons of, things that people can take with them and really reflect on. So I want to thank you. And is there anything else that you want to say, where people can find your work? This is the time that you can share with us.
Okay. Currently my Facebook name, if they want to look for me, is Aisha Avisina Anwar. And if you want to look at my website, I'm on a writing scale where my website is called Aisha Potion Master.
Mm,
Yeah, .com. Then they could look at my website and then see how I write the story of my potion master and my life journey. And in my Instagram is the same as Aisha Avisna Anwar, and my LinkedIn is also the same as Aisha Avisna Anwar. So it's really easy to look for me. But I normally have an initial called Shamian Aisha, which is SYAMIENAISHA. So that could be an initial nickname that they could have to type if they couldn't find me with
Mm.
what I said on the three names.
I will link everything, in the show notes, in the video also, all of that, will have it for sure. So yeah, thank you so much, Noraisha. Have a lovely evening. Take care of yourself. Ramadan Kareem, if I don't speak to you, before that. And it was such a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure to do it for you, and you're an amazing woman too to be able to share this to the world. I love you.
Thank you.